Hello everybody, so Miss here and I am back with another episode. Today I'm going to be going over my characters that I want in Star Wars Battlefront 2 that are the villains of the Clone Wars. Now, these are the villains that I want. These aren't in any specific order. These are just villains that I want. There are no order at all whatsoever. I'm not, I might do a top 3. So, yeah. So, stay tuned now. Starting off with the list, this person is probably the most requested person in all of Star Wars Battlefront, and his name is General Grievous. Now, everyone wants him, like all these news channels that I've seen of Star Wars Battlefront, everyone is saying, oh, I want to see this person, and I'm like, yeah, that person would be really awesome to see, but he wasn't my first pick, you know? So I was like, alright, yeah, that'd be cool if we would have him, because I'd like to see him in the game, and I'd really love to play him, but he wouldn't be my first pick, but that seems to be everyone's, like, first person to pick for a villain to join Star Wars Battlefront 2. That threw me off guard. I thought there'd be someone else, like, I thought more people would like to see Count Dooku than General Grievous, but I guess I was wrong. I would like to play General Grievous more than Count Dooku, but I thought Count Dooku's fan base was bigger than General Grievous. But that was just me. Now, moving on is CAD Bane. Now, this is my favorite bounty hunter, more than Boba Fett or Jango Fett. CAD Bane was my favorite because he was just a total badass, and we know that we now know that CAD Bane dies from Boba Fett with that scene that was released at the latest Star Wars celebration. They were going to have it in Star Wars The Clone Wars, but decided not to do it. Now, CAD Bane does shoot Boba in the head, but his Mandalorian armor protects him from the hit. And, yeah. So, moving along, I have Savage Opress. Now, if there was one person in the game that I would choose to be in Star Wars Battlefront as a Sith, I would choose Darth Maul. But now that we don't have Darth Maul, I am going to have to go with Savage Opress, his brother. Now, they're not really brothers, but they're the same species, and the Savage Opress is much bigger and has harder armor, and is just a total badass, I feel like. He was a really cool and an awesome character, and he was probably one of my favorites of all the Star Wars The Clone Wars TV show. Now, next one I have is Jango Fett. Jango Fett is better than Boba Fett. Now, I know everyone is saying Boba Fett has this awesome armor. He does have awesome armor, but that armor is Jango Fett's armor. He took his dad's armor and used it, just colored it green and red. But Jango Fett's armor is the same armor, just blue and silver. Excuse me, I burped. That was weird. I'm sorry that I said that. That was really weird for me. So yeah, Jango Fett. Plus, he has a jetpack just like Boba Fett, but he has dual pistols. Now, I'm a huge fan of dual pistols, and one of my favorite clones ever is Captain Rex, and he has dual pistols, and he's just a total badass, and so is Jango Fett. Imagine Captain Rex with a jetpack. I know he has used a jetpack during the Clone Wars TV show, but that'd just be really cool, especially with the Mandalorian armor. It would just look so cool. Moving on, I have Count Dooku. I do want to see Count Dooku in the game because not only is he just like a regular Sith Lord that duels around like a lightsaber and has amazing force powers, but he was also a Jedi. Now, not only was he a Jedi and a Sith, just like Anakin, but he also has the power of lightning, and he has used it in multiple battles that he was in. And he was so cool, and he is one of my favorite Siths. Now, moving on, I have Asajj Ventress, and it was weird because George Lucas and these other guys, that when they were creating Attack of the Clones, they were debating whether or not to have Asajj Ventress in Attack of the Clones, the movie. There was a lot of debate on what she was gonna look like and how she fit in, but they all agreed that she should look like a Sith witch. Now she does, and she looks really nasty. I'm not saying like she looks nasty, but she looks like really dark and evil, especially when she wears a hood. And it would be awesome to see some Night Sisters in Star Wars Battlefront 2. That'd be really awesome to have what they did in Star Wars, the Clone Wars. They had where General Grievous launched a massive assault to the Night Sisters um, ground base and just had a bunch of droids versus Night Sisters, and it was an awesome battle. If you guys haven't seen that battle, search it up on YouTube. It is a sick battle. Now moving on, I have EMBO. Now a lot of people don't know who this guy is, and if you watch the Clone Wars, this guy had a hat which he would use a lot. He would slide down mountains on it, and he would also block bullets. He would also throw it like a boomerang. And he had this crossbow, just like Chewbacca, that did like a lot of damage. And he was a total badass that could take down so much people. He was, without a doubt, one of my favorite bounty hunters, next to CAD Bane and Jango Fett. This guy was awesome. Now, moving on is Pong Krell. Now, I would really love to see this guy in Star Wars Battlefront 2. This guy, if you don't know who he is, and if you haven't watched Star Wars The Clone Wars, a lot of people say this guy is the biggest jerk in all of Star Wars The Clone Wars. What he did was he thought clones weren't like human and that they were just like droids, maybe even worse than droids, because I'm not really sure, but he really didn't like clones, and he actually told Captain Rex, oh, Captain Rex, take your army over here. And by the way, the enemy is dressing up as clones so that you don't, they're dressing up as clones for you to, because they want to just like confuse you. But it turns out that he told that those group of clones that the other team were the enemy, and basically it was clones versus clones until Captain Rex found out that they were killing each other, and then they turned off the fight, and that they like stopped the fight, and then they realized that the big villain here is Pong Krell, and he sent his like troopers on suicide missions and anything to just have them die. Now this guy was a total badass. Like General Grievous, he had 4 arms, and not only did he just have regular pistols, but he had dual wielded pistols on all 4 of his arms. And this guy had a huge fight against the clones, and it was massive, and he destroyed so many clones. And yeah, this guy I really want to see in Star Wars Battlefront 2. Next, I have Hondo. Now, Hondo is a pirate, and he has just one blaster. Now, what makes him so special was I really liked his character during the Clone Wars. He was always doing something for money, whether it mean help out the Separatists or help out the Republic. He was there always wanting to get money. Next, I have Prequels. Now, this person I want to see so badly. He is a Mandalorian, and his armor is just so awesome, even cooler than Jango and Boba Fett's armor. And not only is he just a really cool character, but he has a black lightsaber. Now, if that doesn't have you on board to see this guy in the game, he has a jetpack, dual blasters, and he is a total badass that has his own troops, a bunch of Mandalorians that are just like, these guys, they have probably the coolest armor in all of Star Wars, besides Darth Maul's legion of Mandalorians, which, by the way, I don't have Darth Maul on this list because he was already shown in the game. If he wasn't shown in the game, then I would obviously have him on this list. Now, moving along, I have Barriss Offee. Now, she was a Jedi that went rogue and thought that the Jedi were evil, so she decided to bomb the Jedi Temple, and a lot of people died. and then they thought it was Ahsoka. She framed Ahsoka, and then Anakin found out it was her, and they just had this really awesome lightsaber battle that I consider one of the top 5 best lightsaber battles in all of Star Wars. She was very good with a lightsaber, and her best friend was Ahsoka, which was kind of weird why she framed her best friend. But yeah, that was like, if you're gonna blame someone, do it with a random Jedi you haven't even met or a Jedi you really don't like. But why do it to your best friend? Like, what? What? Moving on is my last character, and I know that he won't be put into the game. If he is put in the game, I would love it. But he's not like my #1 top pick for Star Wars Battlefront 2 or anything. But it is Slick. Now this is a clone trooper that turned evil because he thought the clones were being abused and misused by the Republic and that they were just slaves to the Republic. And he was taken down by Commander Cody and Captain Rex because he was a traitor. And he just thought he was like, he didn't hate the clones. He was a clone himself. He just thought they were being misused. And that concludes my list for my Star Wars: The Clone Wars villains.
I bet you sold out your brothers for some real shiny coin, huh? Yes, she offered me money, but she offered me something more important, something you wouldn't understand. Freedom!
I'll be having more Star Wars Battlefront 2 videos, so just keep watching my channel. Subscribe for more of these type of videos. Comment below on who you want to have, your villains in the game, what kind of Clone Wars villains you want to see in the game, or just regular Star Wars villains in general. And leave a like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. See you later, guys.